Gostkowski has it teed up for New England. And deep back is Josh Scobie. It's the Bills and the Patriots. And here we go from Rockin' Foxborough. And he's going to bring it out. The ex-Seattle Seahawk. He gets by Izzo. And he is banged at about the 21-yard line. And brought down by reserve linebacker Pierre Woods on a return of 27 yards. This takes us to quarterback J.P. Lossman, who is coming off a career year, but struggling so far with no touchdown passes and one pick. An offensive line which has been doctored and it has spent a lot of money on. As you can see, some of the names familiar, starters, all of them in the past in the NFL. Marshawn Lynch is the running back, and Lee Evans is the wide receiver. One of the best in the business from the 21-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for Buffalo. They've scored but one offensive touchdown all season. Marshawn Lynch hit by Roosevelt Colvin out to about the 25-yard line. On a gain of 4, a flag is down, and Lossman, more importantly for Buffalo, is down. They took a crack at him.
Roughing the passer, number 75, defense, going low at the quarterback's legs.
And 75 is Vince Wilfork, and you can see he can hardly stand right now.
Well, this is not the way you want to start your day, Kevin, if you're J.P. Lossman. Look, that ball is out. Ooh! And that is painful. And that was right on his left knee. And you can see he does not look right.
Now, one of the interesting things about the Buffalo Bills, they only carried 2 quarterbacks, and that is a rookie out of Stanford, third-round pick, Trent Edwards, who has never taken a snap and will be brought in the game with the ball at the 40-yard line. Are they going to keep Lossman in? Let's see. Lossman stays in the game, but a vicious hit.
Wow.
I don't know how he can walk.
And that looked like it was intentional. He was just trying to reach his right elbow out there and get part of his leg.
There are 2 tight ends in for the Bills. First and 10, Lynch again. Hit by Warren, among others, on that defensive line, and a gain of 4 out to the 44-yard line. Now for the New England Patriots, one of the best defenses statistically right now in the NFL. Green has taken the place of Richard Seymour, still out with the knee. Linebackers, one of the oldest groups, one of the best groups, highlighted by Bruschi and Thomas. And Vrabel outside, one of the top sackmen so far in the NFL. And a great secondary with a start by Asante Samuel at the corner. Second down and 6 from the 44. Here comes the blitz. Hobbs was on the blitz. There's a fumble on the play. New England has gathered it in. And the Patriots have got the turnover on the blitz by Ellis Hobbs coming off the corner.
And Kevin, you just have to know that on the short side of the field, the left hash, you see Ellis Hobbs, he's got a straight run for J.P. Lossman, and he never senses the possibility of a corner blitz. And when you see that short side, you see the safety cheat over, there's a good chance it's coming. And the back never sees it. He gets out in the protection. And Kevin, interestingly enough, we talked to Marshawn Lynch yesterday just about protections. He said in college, all I had to worry about was the one linebacker. Now I got to worry about outside linebackers, safeties, and even corners. In that particular situation, he missed the corner blitz.
Lining up with 2 tight ends, Tom Brady, first and 10, 35. He goes outside, caught by Moss, 30-yard line, tagged by Greer. It's a gain of 5 on the play. Well, Tom Brady is the #1 rated quarterback in the NFL right now. Highest percentage, highest rating. Terrific start to his season. On the line, highlighted by the Pro Bowler Light at the left tackle. Randy Moss is the #1 receiver in the NFL right now, and weapons right across the board. Second down and 5. Officially at the 31 with the back of the football touches. O'Callahan has become an extra lineman on the right side, the near side, a tackle eligible. Number 68. Maroney into a pile and pushing that pile down to the 25-yard line on a gain of 4 yards. And hit by DeGiorgio in the linebacking core for the Buffalo Bills, who are staggering right now. But Kelsey and Schobel, 2 of the best defensive ends on one team in the NFL. In the linebacking core, they've been decimated by injuries, but keep your eye on the rookie out of Penn State, Posluszny. He's the 3rd leading tackler through 2 weeks in the league. And you can see Greer is starting for Terrence McGee out with the rib injury. 3rd down and 1 from the 25. Fumble by Buffalo moments ago. And this is Sammy Morris dipping and diving his way inside. Gets to about the 25 and close to a 1st down and a gain of a couple. There's Sammy Morris, the ex-Buffalo Bill, and there goes J.P. Lossman headed to the locker room. They're going to take a look at that knee, and it did not look good, as we've seen on replay a couple times, Rich, already.
Yeah, and that's not a good situation, Kevin, as you talked about. Trent Edwards, a rookie, and then they only carry 2 quarterbacks on their active roster. If, in fact, they have to go to a 3rd, it'll be Fred Jackson, their running back, who gets a few snaps on Fridays in practice just to kind of get a feel for what would happen in an emergency situation.
It looked a little bit as they take a measurement and find that they're shy by just inches, but it looked a little bit like what Carson Palmer of the Cincinnati Bengals got when Kimo von Oelhoffen, then of the Pittsburgh Steelers, rolled up on him.
And that's the exact reason why they changed the rule and implemented the rule that you can't take advantage, take a shot at a quarterback below the waist when he's in the pocket like that. It's really a safety measure, and quarterbacks are in very vulnerable positions when they have their eyes and focus down.
Evans in the backfield. Here's the handoff. They also had O'Callahan in there as an extra offensive lineman, this time lining up on the left side. And he gets a gain of 2, picking up the 1st down with the tackle by Kyle Williams and moved the chains. A fumble by Lossman. On the blitz by the corner, Hobbs sets up this possession for the New England Patriots.
And Kevin, a key in this game today is going to be how well this Bills defense can hold up in the run. They were 31st a year ago in stopping the run. This year they're 30th. They've been very porous. They have to find a way to swell up and contain Lawrence Maroney.
Welker has come in for the first time as a 3rd receiver on 1st and 10 for Brady. Good block by Light. They got Mankins out there, and Kevin Falk takes the ball down to about the 14-yard line with a tackle on the play made by Kiwaki Thomas. It's a gain of 9, and he's down just near the 15.
Kevin, this Bills defense really prides themselves playing with speed. They're built for quickness and a relentless pursuit of the football. However, they are undersized throughout that front 7. Particularly, you look at Pozlesny, DeGiorgio, that defensive line. They're quick, but they're not very big. And they have to find a way to do a better job containing the run. They got bulldozed last week against the Steelers.
2nd down and 1 with 2 tight ends. Thomas has come in for Brady, and that's a reception inside the 10-yard line, which is caught by Thomas, the all-time leading tight end receiver for the University of Texas. It's a gain of 9, tagged in the play by Greer.
Just look at Tom Brady. Does a great job looking off linebackers, and he always knows where his quick answer throw is. The other thing that's great about Tom Brady is he finds a way to get everybody involved in the offense. Tight ends, backs, receivers. He does a great job spreading the ball around.
Gain was to the 6. Kyle Brady has come in. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line for Tom Brady. Maroney back in the game. Lawrence Maroney out of Minnesota. He was grabbed by DeGiorgio along with Chris Kelsey and thrown for a 1-yard loss back to the 7-yard line. If there was a concern of the Patriots, it was on these quick defensive ends for the Buffalo Bills.
You're right. Chris Kelsey and Aaron Schobel are like bookends. They're built the same way. The thing that I like about both of them is their pursuit. They're relentless, and the thing is they don't take plays off. They find ways to generate pressure on the quarterback, and they said the key today is going to be getting pressure on Tom Brady. We have to find a way to knock him around, especially early in the game, to try and get him out of rhythm.
5 in the secondary. Kiwaki Thomas has been in it. 3rd receiver is Welker. 2nd and goal from the 7. 8th play of the drive. Brady dropped the coverage on the play by Angelo Crowell. They were looking for Jabbar Gaffney across the middle, a guy who was terrific in the postseason last year for the New England Patriots. It'll be 3rd and goal.
They do a nice job in their zone coverage, passing things off. And you see Crowell, he sees the crossing route, he reads Tom Brady, and he does a nice job against the receiver in space.
6 in the secondary now for the Buffalo Bills. Falk has been added in the backfield. 3rd and goal at the 7. Good block by Mankins. Knocked away by Whitner, intended for Moss, back to the end zone. And the Buffalo Bills keep the New England Patriots, who began this in deep penetration at the 35, to a field goal try and out of the end zone on the first possession.
And Kevin, this defense has been put in bad situations all year. I mean, last week, the 4 drives that the Steelers had in the first half, they held them to field goals. They are a stingy defense inside the red zone.
24-yard try by young second-year kicker Stephen Gostkowski. He was 2 of 3 so far. Last year was 20 of 26 and bangs this through. And the New England Patriots do cash in on the Buffalo Bill fumble. They didn't get 6, but they got 3 with an early lead and 9:26 in the first. J.P. Lossman of the Buffalo Bills is having his knee looked at in the locker room. He just fumbled the ball, and in 10 plays, a field goal by Gostkowski, and so it is 3-0 with New England on top. And we're going to see a young rookie quarterback who has not taken a snap in the NFL coming in for the injured Lossman. The ensuing kickoff after the 24-yard field goal, and this time Scobie leaves it in the end zone. So third-round pick Trent Edwards will come in. He's out of Stanford. Great look at Gillette Stadium. New quarterback, rookie Trent Edwards. He beat out Craig Nall for the number 2 position on this team at quarterback, taking the place of the injured J.P. Lossman after the New England field goal and the kickoff left in the end zone from the 21st and 10, Marshawn Lynch. And brought down by Teddy Bruschi, who led the Patriots in tackles a season ago. Gain of about 5 out near the 25-yard line.
And Kevin, you always want to start on the road. You want to get pressure on the quarterback, find a way to get hats on him and knock him around. And this one right here, unfortunately, is on J.P. Lossman. You have to feel and sense pressure, especially off the edge. And you just know against a Bill Belichick defense, he's going to find a way to test you early.
Jason Whittle has come in as a fullback, 2nd down and 5. From the 25. Edwards hit and caught. Peerless Price guarded by Sanders. 42-yard line, 16-yard pickup. Buffalo first down.
And this is the way you want to start. On the road against a great #1 defense in football. But I tell you what, this shows good poise by Trent Edwards in the pocket. Sitting in there, taking a couple extra hitches, making sure he sees the throw, and then giving his receiver a chance to make a play.
Another offensive lineman, Kirk Chambers, has now come in. In the backfield, they've got the tight end, Robert Royal. 1st and 10. No changes defensively for New England from the 42.
Kevin, I would have to assume that they've scaled back a little bit the offense for Trent Edwards. And you just have to assume he hasn't gotten many reps. A lot of these concepts are new to him.
12 men, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So what's it like? You've been in this position, maybe not as a rookie, but you've been in this position to come in a tough place to play like this.
What better way to start your career than against the #1 defense in football, a team that's won world championships. But I'll tell you what, it's a great test for him. The key for him is going to be poise. It's not all going to be perfect. Just find a way to hang in there and battle. And the big thing is take care of the football. Don't turn it over and put your team in bad situations.
1st and 15, Chambers. Oh, there's some movement. Royal looked like he was moving.
And Kevin, one of the things is different cadence. These linemen, the players, they're used to J.P. Lossman's cadence at the line of scrimmage.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The other thing with a young quarterback is a lot of times you can't hear him. And it's very difficult to hear him. You see J.P. Lossman, he's going to try and test this leg and see if he can make a return.
Now 1st and 20. Lynch. He got a good block from Royal, and he dances his way to the 41-yard line, brought down by Bruschi. Gain of 8. We take our first trip to New York in JB.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, it was Houston on top first, 7-0, but the Colts answered back, capping a 15-play, 74-yard drive. Manning to Dallas Clark. Manning's 26th touchdown against Houston, all knotted at 7. Back to Kevin and Rich.
You got it, JP. Remember, Indianapolis has beaten Houston 9 of the last 10 meetings. Thank you. 2nd down and 12. Edwards remains. Lynch getting a block from Royal. And then brought down across the way by Mike Vrabel on a gain of 4. This Lynch is a good-looking running back as Lossman continues to test that knee.
Yeah, I really like Marshawn Lynch. And we talked about the fact that he's going to bring more speed and quickness to the position. And I really think he's going to be more of a threat in the passing game. Once he gets comfortable with the protection and the routes, it takes a while. It's usually the last thing to come to a rookie running back.
Now Anthony Thomas is coming in place of Lynch. 3rd down and 8. They need the 48-yard line of New England. Roscoe Parrish becomes a third wide receiver. That's caught for a first down, picked up by Parrish. He was tackled on the play by Sanders, a gain of 18. Let's go back to JB.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, after being blown out last week, San Diego looking to come back stronger. Phillip Rivers hooking up here with Vincent Jackson. 27-yard strike. Nice touch on that ball. Chargers on their first drive. They're up 7-0 over Green Bay. Back to Kevin and Rich.
And now J.P. Rivers has thrown 3 touchdowns, yet been picked off 3 times to begin his season. Thank you for the update. 43-yard line after the long pickup. First down and 10. Edwards across the middle. Josh Reed, who missed last week with an injury, is brought down by Sanders, moving downfield, gain of 21 all the way to the Patriot 22. This comes on the heel of a 16-yard pass moments ago to Peerless Price.
Does a nice job dropping back. He looks good in the pocket. And it's easy when you have receivers this wide open. Josh Reed, very nice run, a little underneath route. And what's happening right now is it looks like the Patriots defense is a little out of sorts, trying to figure out some of these formations and movements by the Bills offense.
First and 10. Edwards to Lynch. And Brewski got a hand on him first, and Sanders finishes him off at about the 16-yard line on a gain of 6. Again, Lossman continues to warm up. What a good-looking drive by the young rookie quarterback.
And he's doing a nice job managing the game. And again, the key, if they can get Marshawn Lynch some carries, they've fallen behind early in games and they've had to throw the ball. You see offensive coordinator there, Steve Fairchild. The other thing he's going to have to do today, I'm talking about Fairchild, he's going to have to help his young quarterback with protections. Keep 5, 6, 7 men in to really help him get comfortable.
Neufeld in the backfield. Second down and 4. Ty Warren brings down Lynch on a gain of 1 near the 15-yard line. And sometimes as a rookie quarterback, as you know, it's not too big because you're stunned. You're even in that position to begin with.
Kevin, things are moving so fast for him right now. He's trying to process information efficiently, but it's coming at him fast and furious. He's getting plays come in. He knows defensively he's going to get different looks. And the thing you know about Belichick and that defense, they're going to find a way to test this young quarterback. They're going to heat him up. He's going to have to be able to respond and not hold the football.
2 tight ends, including Gaines. 3rd and 3, 9th play of the drive. Edwards gets a good block from Langston Walker. Dumps it off to Gaines, the former Carolina starter. And he is down to the 10. He is hit by Brewski along with Sanders and Adalys Thomas. It's a gain of 5. It is another Buffalo first down, beginning at their 20, all the way to the 10 of New England.
Kevin, we talked about poise. Just look at his confidence in the pocket. He was looking to his right. He checked off. He came back, found his second receiver, not there. Then he finally kicks it wide to Michael Gaines. Nice job not coming unglued, knowing where his outlets are, putting together a nice drive.
Junior Seau comes in for Adalys Thomas. First and goal. Reed, Price, Evans, the 3 receivers for Buffalo. Marshawn Lynch. And he was grabbed on that defensive line by Green, taking the place of the injured Seymour. It's a gain of 2. Mark him at the 8.
Kevin, they've invested a lot of money in trying to revamp this offensive line. They brought in Langston Walker from the Raiders, and of course Derek Dockery. They paid him a lot of money to come over from the Redskins. An area a year ago where they were inconsistent. They gave up a bunch of sacks, 49 a year ago. They tried to shore up that protection scheme and also help them in terms of the running game.
Second down goal at the 8, 11th play of the drive. Neufeld is coming as a fullback. Edwards, chased by Wilfork. And that's what he does. Now, we told you that Edwards plays at Stanford, right? Did, and was the 7th leading passer of all time. It was the glowing scouting reports from a Buffalo friend, the late Bill Walsh, that led the Buffalo Bills to drafting this kid Edwards.
Well, I tell you what, he's had some good tutelage out at Stanford. You know, he's been in a pro system and he's had some good coaching. And I think that he's come in, he's done a nice job. He had a pretty strong preseason. He got a lot of reps with the second and third groups. And now he's getting the opportunity of a lifetime just to go out and make some plays, have some fun, relax, and don't do anything crazy in this part of the field.
Eric Alexander has come in as a linebacker, 3rd and goal at the 8. Look at Lynch bang his way in for the touchdown. An 8-yard bulldozing type run, and shockingly Buffalo, with the young rookie quarterback in his first NFL snaps, have buzzsawed their way through right now. The best defense in the NFL in New England.
And Kevin, you talk about having a nose for the goal line. Look at this effort by Marshawn Lynch. He's stretching, he's diving, he's reaching for the end zone. The other thing about that drive, what was impressive, Steve Fairchild, the offensive coordinator, didn't hold back. He gave him the whole playbook. He let him go out there and make plays. They threw the ball on first down. Pretty impressive drive by the Bills.
Lindell will try the extra point. That's what the Buffalo Bills were wanting anyway from last week. They wanted Fairchild to open things up a little bit.
And you have to. When you have an injury, you can't pull back. You have to let your young player go out there. If he's going to make mistakes, he'll make mistakes. Let him play. Let him have some fun.
Marshawn Lynch just rolled in from 8 yards away, and a drive by Edwards, who converted on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, and 3rd and goal at the 8. Long receptions, Price of 16, Reed of 21, and Parrish for 13 yards through the air. The ensuing kickoff by Ryan Lindell, which is a chip shot, catching him by surprise, and fair caught by David Thomas, the reserve tight end at the 32. Now Tom Brady comes out. Stunningly, his team is down 7-3. 2:44 in the first. After the kickoff, after Lynch went in from 8 yards away, 1st and 10 for Brady in the offense at the 33-yard line. Welker is the 3rd receiver. A couple new defensive tackles, McCargo and Anderson on the defensive line for the Bills. Blocked by Kazir. And that is caught by the tight end Watson, who is brought down by Anderson. He rolls his way to the 41, picks up about 8.5 yards. Go to the new NFL.com Game Center for exclusive video highlights, fantasy stats, and more from today's game. It's all at NFL.com/Game Center. The Bills fumbled after Lossman got injured. 24-yard field goal by the Patriots began it, but then a terrific-looking drive by rookie quarterback Trent Edwards out of Stanford put the Buffalo Bills on the board. 2nd down and 1. Kevin Falk. Good block by Copen. And he is tackled in the defensive secondary by Kiwaki Thomas. A spurt of 11 yards. He's to the 47-yard line. Falk is a great change of pace running back for New England.
Well, Kevin, he's one of the best 3rd down backs in the league, and he does such a great job understanding situational football, and he's probably one of the most respected players on this football team, elected captain again this year. Done a great job helping Tom Brady sort out protections back there and when they're in the shotgun.
Jason Jefferson has taken the place of Schobel on the defensive line. 47-yard line, 2nd Patriot possession, 1st and 10. Maroney back in. And they blow that dead in mid-motion. Well, there's nothing you want to do like give a huge underdog like Buffalo.
Number 81 offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Any kind of reason for hope.
No, you're right, Kevin. You want to set the tone early. They did that defensively, coming out, knocking Lossman out of the game and beating him around a little bit. Getting the turnover for the offense, but then on that 2nd series, it was impressive the way Buffalo hung in there and battled. And I get the sense when we visited with them last night, they feel a little bit disrespected. You know, J.P. Lossman said, if we win this game, we'll shock the world. And I think that's been their approach this week. We have nothing to lose. Let's come up here and let's throw everything out at them, and let's see how it all pans out.
No pressure whatsoever.
False start
no pressure.
Penalty, offense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 55. By rule, the 15-yard penalty is enforced. 1st down.
55 is Angelo Crowell. The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 providing today's great scenics. Look for the MetLife Blimps as they team up with CBS for more coverage this fall with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan.
And Kevin, one of the things you cannot do if you're the Buffalo Bills defensively is give the Patriots freebies like that. A personal foul, they have a false start, and you come back in, Angelo Crowell, and have a personal foul, give them 15 free yards, especially in this part of the field. You just can't make those type of mental errors.
5 in the secondary. Kiwaki Thomas is the nickel. 1st and 10. 32-yard line. Sammy Morris in the game and the call, and slips his way through. He's brought down by Puslesny on a gain of 5, and he's down to about the 28-yard line.
Kevin, I got the sense that everyone thought that Lawrence Maroney was really going to carry the load this year for the Patriots, but that's not the way they're going to do it. They do a nice job. You saw Falk carry the ball a little bit ago, and they're going to mix in Sammy Morris. I think they realize the importance of having plenty of depth at the running back position to shoulder the load.
O'Callahan comes in on the offensive line of New England. Larry Triplett has come in on the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd down and 6. Morris remains. Brady, one of 2 tight ends. It's Kyle Brady. Morris was drafted by Buffalo. Great play. Just coming off the bench and in Brian Scott, who went to camp with the Tennessee Titans. He's played with Atlanta and New Orleans. There's a flag thrown on the play across the way.
One of the things the Patriots are doing, they're going to use Benjamin Watson and Kyle Brady. And they'll use them in the passing game as well as in the running game. But when you have Kyle Brady in the game, it's like having another offensive lineman, all 6'6", 280 pounds of him.
You couldn't believe how big he was the other day when you ran into him.
Kevin, he engulfed my hand when he shook it. And I'll tell you what, he is a...
Illegal motion, number 88 of the offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
I think his addition has been significant in terms of not only the running game, but as well as in terms of pass protection. And we talked with Chris Kelsey last night. He said, hey, he's a guy I'm going to have to contend with because he's like another offensive tackle out there when he's lined up at the tight end position.
Falk in the backfield. Welker is the 3rd receiver. Nickel secondary for Buffalo. 3rd down and 8 from the 30. 2nd possession for the New England Patriots, who kicked a 24-yard field goal the first time they had it. 5 seconds remain on the game clock, and once again they have stopped play here in New England, a place where Buffalo has not won since November of 2000. As you take a look at Bill Belichick, we had a terrific visit with him on Friday. And obviously, Videogate came up, and it was handled the same way he has handled it that you folks have seen here in New England and across the country over the last couple weeks. They've dealt with it, and they've moved on.
Well, I think he realized, he said he appreciated the way his team rallied around him and that situation. I think he's a master motivator. I think he's going to use that situation as a motivation to get this team to say, hey, look, people have disrespected us. People have said that what we've done in the past has been tainted. And I think a lot of the players, particularly players like Teddy Bruschi, were offended.
A rookie quarterback has led the Buffalo Bills on a touchdown drive. 8-yard touchdown run by fellow rookie Marshawn Lynch. 7-3 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS. A couple of rookies led the Buffalo Bills downfield in that first quarter, culminating with an 8-yard touchdown run by Marshawn Lynch. Earlier, a fumble by the Bills, 24-yard field goal by New England. Whittle is leaving with a hamstring. Lossman is still testing the knee on the sideline. A lot going on for the undefeated New England Patriots at 2-0 and the winless Buffalo Bills at 0-2.
And Kevin, I have to tell you, the Patriots offensively, to me, look a little sloppy. A couple false start, a couple penalties, and they have not really been in rhythm so far through this first quarter.
Did you think they were in rhythm when you watched them in practice on Friday?
They had some problems, and it's funny, we talked with Tom Brady, and he said Coach Belichick really got on him Friday morning. They watched some clips of practice where they made some mistakes. They even went back and looked at some film from last year against the Bills where they were sloppy, so we cannot afford a sloppy performance today.
5 in the secondary. Welker is the slot receiver. Falk in the backfield. 3rd down and 10. They need the 22. Kevin Falk. He got a nice block in there from Hochstein, and then he is brought down at the 29-yard line. Hit on the play by Puzlesny on a gain of 3 to the 29.
And Kevin, this is a secondary that's really beat up. They lose Nate Clements a year ago. Terrence McGee's not going to play today. Look at the youth and inexperience and the number of starts that these guys had. They signed Jason Webster in the offseason. He goes on IR. Cole Simpson goes on IR. So this group today is really going to have to step up to the plate against a very talented receiving corps for the Patriots.
No changes either way. 4th down and 7. Brady. And caught by Kevin Falk, and he was tackled on the play by Angelo Crowell. First down is maybe a yard away. We'll have to see where the spot is. He had to get just inside the 22. With that spot, which looks to be very good, I think he nailed it. And they'll take the measurement.
And if you're wondering why the Patriots ran the ball on 3rd down, because it was predetermined that they were going to go for it on 4th down. So they're trying to get half of it, and they knew they were going to throw it there in that situation. Good coaching from the Patriots.
You know, one of the things, and you kind of touched on this with the New England Patriots, avoiding an emotional letdown after such an emotional stretch with Videogate and everything we talked about a couple minutes ago. And they are short, and Buffalo's defense is held.
And Kevin, this is what the Bills need. They need some emotional energy from a group that's really been struggling.
The New England Patriots just gave it up on downs. Buffalo takes over. The Bills defense has looked tight. And now Buffalo, beginning at the 22 of New England, has it 1st and 10. No changes defensively for the Patriots. Lynch in the backfield. Marshawn Lynch looking for a Peters block and brought down in the secondary by Sanders. The gain to the 30, picking up 7 on the play.
Well, we have to keep an eye on the number of carries that Marshawn Lynch is going to have today. Already 9 carries for 46 yards and a touchdown. If you get him up in that 25 to 30 range, that means that things are going well for this Bills offense. They need to get him some touches and take some of that pressure off of Trent Edwards.
Couple tight ends, 2nd down and 3. Lynch, the Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year. Brought down by Dallas Thomas. No gain on the play, 29-yard line.
Well, the thing we know about the Patriots defense, they do a great job breaking down an opponent and their tendencies and really formulating a game plan for their players and then attacking a team's weakness while taking away what they do well. Now, the key for them today versus Buffalo, they can't let this rookie running back get going. And the other thing, we talked with Belichick yesterday, they can't give up the deep balls, particularly to Lee Evans and Roscoe Parrish, the guys that have the ability to go downtown.
No changes, 3rd and 3. Trent Edwards, the rookie. Intercept, dropped. In and out of the hands of Ellis Hobbs. He had a blitz early in the game that was very hard hitting on Lossman, which forced a fumble in our 1st quarter.
Well,
there it is.
It didn't start well for the Bills. The fumble and the sack, but they came right back. Big completion to Roscoe Parrish on 3rd down, and then give the ball to your rookie running back, Marshawn Lynch, and let him go to work.
2-time Pro Bowler Brian Moorman will punt. Wes Welker back inside the 20 for the New England Patriots. The ex-Dolphin and ex-Charger from the 10, Welker. Josh Stamer brings him down, reserve linebacker, at about the 28-yard line, and a 59-yard punt, a 16-yard return. The clock at 12:42 from Foxborough in the 2nd quarter. Touchdown run by the Bills, 24-yard field goal after recovering a Buffalo fumble for the New England Patriots, who begin it after the punt by Buffalo. 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Fake to Maroney. And the pass over the head of Maroney. They had some screen blockers out there as well, and it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And coming up on the Sprint halftime report from New York, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for scores and highlights. We're putting it together for you right now in New York. The Sprint halftime report here on CBS with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. 2nd down and 10. Welker's become the 3rd receiver. No changes in the secondary for Buffalo. Falk in the backfield. Wes Welker, Falk with the block. Corral with the tackle at the 40-yard line. A catch and run of 13, a New England 1st down.
You'll see when you watch the Indianapolis Colts, they do a lot of this, these underneath routes, trying to find ways to get the ball to Wes Welker and let him go to work. They do a nice job trying to get a block on Angelo Crowell, but a lot of underneath short crossing routes, shallow crossing routes, underneath those linebackers, let the receivers go to work.
Now Kiwaki Thomas is coming as a nickel. 1st down and 10. Maroney. Brought down by Paul President. It was down to the 48-yard line on a gain of 9. They were talking earlier in the week about his pad level, about Maroney's body lean. What were they talking about, the running back's body lean?
Well, Kevin, he has a tendency to run up high. That's really been his style. And he told us yesterday, he said, I realize that I have to get my body lean lower. I have to get over my pads and start delivering blows rather than receiving them.
2nd down and 1. Moss only has 1 catch so far. Here comes Maroney. He's in that Minnesota backfield with Marion Barber. He was brought down by Kiwaki Thomas. He picks up 6 on the play. He's to the Buffalo 44.
And Kevin, the thing I know about Lawrence Maroney, he loves the game. He's got an infectious personality. He's always got a smile on his face. And he does a lot of talking in that huddle. He tries to get that offensive line amped up, and he talks to Randy Moss, and he likes to have fun out there during the game.
Here is Paul Posluszny down, the Butkus Award winner out of Penn State, in our 2nd quarter clock at 11:14. Well, we're still a couple of weeks away from the colors being just terrific here in New England. Paul Postlesny is being looked like a left arm issue, elbow or shoulder, and you've got the medical staff on there putting something on. Now watch Kiwaki Thomas come out of the right side of your screen and hit the arm of Ples right there.
What happens, Kevin, sometimes you get caught in awkward body positions.
Now Postlesny, you may recall, at the end of his junior year, blew out a knee and played most of last season with a big bulky brace at Penn State. Nonetheless finished as Penn State's all-time leading tackler. But they're working right now on the shoulder. And of course, many of you in Buffalo have seen this staff working in the past with Kevin Everett. On opening weekend, it was really their great work in the early stages of this injury and the prayers and thoughts of his teammates that probably lead now to what has been a very improved and optimistic story as the t-shirts are being worn. They're being sold on the Bills website, buffalobills.com. $20. Net proceeds go to Spinal Cord Research and Program. But we know now that Kevin Everett is at Houston's Memorial Hermann Hospital providing medical rehabilitation for patients of catastrophic trauma, basically with the head, neck, spine. He's close to his home in Houston, getting the best care in the United States. And as the team now for the Buffalo Bills, again, for the second time in 3 weeks, must gather and compose themselves on the field, watching another one of their players being carted off the field.
And you know, it was interesting. We talked with Dick Duran last night. Said since the injury to Kevin, things are just different. That's just the way it's going to be, and we're never going to get past it. We just have to live it with Kevin. He said these players are very, very close in this locker room, and it's difficult to see one of your teammates carted off.
Postlesny came into today as the third leading tackler in the NFL. He was replacing London Fletcher, who is a terrific presence on the field and off. And as they cart him off, and we would gather ourselves right here, let's take you to our studios in New York and JB.
Hey, Kevin, the Packers move ahead 10-7 over San Diego as Brett Favre tosses career number 418. This one to Donald Driver to take a 10-7 lead. And as we go back to you, good to see Postlesny moving on his own, and certainly a great story about Mr. Everett. Back to Kevin and Rich.
You got it, JB. 6 consecutive wins in the regular season for Green Bay. They're hot against one of the AFC's best. It is a first down at the 44-yard line after the Maroney run. And Brady, look at the time. Hit by Williams. Downfield it goes. It's caught by Dante Stallworth working on Leonard at the 15-yard line. 29-yard pickup. Marking at the 16, a first down.
And this is all about protection. You look at the play action, but there's plenty of protection for Tom Brady. Looks to his right, steps up, and then makes a great throw late down the sidelines. And Yabodi must be saying to himself, I had great coverage, but that's just way too much time. You watch Dante Stallworth, good catch. Now he's trying to head upfield to get extra yardage.
Buffalo is not going with a replacement for Postlesny right now. They're going with a bunch of defensive backs. 6 different receiver hit by Brady on 1st and 10. It is a handoff to Maroney, who is brought down by Crowell on a gain of 6 and mark him at the 10.
And what they'll do is they'll actually move their strong side linebacker, John DeGiorgio, back into the middle. That's what they'll do. He'll take Postlesny's place, and he'll make all the calls and the adjustments for this defense.
5 in the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd down and 4. Maroney. Brought down by Kelsey after getting the block by Mankins up front and Light and Copen. A 7-yard gain, and he's down to the 3.
Well, not only do you lose your starting linebacker, but now you move your strong side linebacker, a guy that's young and inexperienced, and DeGiorgio is a second-year player. Yeah, you move him back inside, and he's out of position. And now what do the Patriots do? They start running the ball right up the middle.
Still 5 in the secondary. Right there's the 3rd receiver. 1st and goal at the 3. And I think, well, Brady, it may have come out. The body at least crossed the goal line, but you can see them entangling people right now. And the body language and the... Oh, and Buffalo's gone! What a turnover! Much to the chagrin of Bill Belichick at 9:07 of the second on the goal line. Brady digging for that ball. and losing it, and the Buffalo defense has done it again.
You wonder if he extended the ball. Does he have the ball in high and tight, or is he trying to reach, and that just gets pulled out?
But his knee was down. His left knee was down. As you can see to Giorgio.
It looks like McCargo is just reaching in. He's just trying to rip that ball out, rip and strip.
They'll probably take a look at this, although no flag is on the field. Oh, there it goes, and 9:07 to play in the first half. As we said, Bill Belichick is going to challenge this call on the field that it was a fumble by Tom Brady. We've got two views. You can see the knee, but not the ball here. But watch his left knee as it clearly hits the turf there, but we can't see the ball. Now we have an end zone view for you where you can't see the knee, but you can see the ball leaving his grasp. And this is what the officials are going to see when they review it.
And it's a question of whether it's clear enough for the officials to tell when that ball actually comes out, and if in fact his knee was down. But it's a good alert play by the nose tackle John McCargo, trying to get his hand in there and strip the ball from Tom Brady.
It's got to be indisputable evidence, and I don't know from those replays that they can see. They certainly see the fumble, but they can't see the knee on one. They can see no fumble, but certainly the knee on the other.
And it's the worst possible position you want to be in if you're Tom Brady, at the bottom of one of those piles, because a lot of things go on that we can't talk about on the air. But I'll tell you what, when you have
like
your
what?
hand extended above your
what?
shoulder, and you have linemen ripping at you, stepping on you, and doing all these other kind of things, it's not the place you want to be.
I'm more interested in what we can't talk about.
I've had bad things happen to me at the bottom of that pile, Kevin, and I just take my word for it. And
I think the ball is out before the knee goes down. Although, like we said, we can see the knee, but not the ball. Now, on this other replay, we can see the ball, but not necessarily the clear shot of the knee. Ball's gone. I think it is a fumble.
Now just watch Tom. He's in a defenseless position down there. You know, he's got his legs are being held, and he's got McCargo laying on top of him, and he's got a bunch. The scrum is getting ready to come. I mean, they're going to start piling on and trying to dig that ball out.
The word from the Buffalo Bills.
The ruling on the field stands. New England is charged with a timeout.
I think that was a correct call. That is good news for the Bills. The bad news is really bad. Paul Posluszny has broken his forearm and out indefinitely.
That's too bad. I mean, the kind of player you're going to build your defense, he's really been at the heart of this defense already, and it's devastating news for that Bills football team.
Well, we know Lossman is out because he had his knee racked up early in the game by Vince Wilfork. So they got a rookie out of Stanford in there from the 1, 1st and 10. Marooned at the 1.
Right.
There's all kinds of movement. There goes a flag. Rich, when you're down there in an end zone on the road, what is that like for a quarterback?
It's difficult, but it's a great place for a hard count. People might say a hard count. Why would you do that in that situation? Well, you have a penalty right there.
Prior to the snap, there's no play, false start on the running back, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And what's half the distance of the goal going to hurt you there? You go from the 1 yard line to the half-yard line. It's not the end of the world. So it's usually a good place for a hard count. In fact, that's probably what they were doing, and Marshawn Lynch just jumped the gun.
So what would you tell your team in the huddle?
You have to say, hey, remind them, sit in now, hard count. I'm going to try and draw them off sides. But the problem is they can't hear anything in this situation, in this part of the field.
There are 3 tight ends in for the Buffalo Bills, 1st and 10.
Oh.
Edwards on the run. Did he step out of bounds? The official was there. The pass is incomplete. They were going for Evans, who was covered on the play by the defensive lineman Jarvis Green and by Wilson.
Kevin, I think he stepped out and the official misses it. The referee standing right there. Watch his right foot. Right there. Wow, that's close.
Well, I think he's on the line.
And now here comes the challenge. Here it comes.
And Belichick throws out the red challenge flag.
And what happened was the referee was watching the quarterback. That's his job, but he never saw his right foot.
This would be a safety if that's what they rule.
Exactly, and he was late getting away from the center. He looked out of sorts, and that probably had something to do with it.
Well, Belichick lost the last challenge. I don't think he's going to lose this
New
one.
England is challenging the previous play.
9:03 in the second quarter with a lot going on in Foxborough. Bill Belichick is challenged that the quarterback, Edwards, stepped out of the end zone as he was back to pass and getting away from traffic.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. New England is charged with the second timeout.
Well, you take another look at it. It all starts with the right guard, Brad Butler.
So now it is 3rd down and 10. Stranded inside the 1. Maybe it's 2nd down and 10, we'll call it. 2nd down and 10. Trying the quarterback sneak, as you can see, with no gain on the play, and Junior Seau, the 12-time Pro Bowler, jumping on his back.
And you go back and look at it. Just watch the official, Scott Green. He's going to come up on the right side of your screen. Look where his eyes are. He's looking right down at Trent Edwards' feet, and he sees it. It's close, but he's in bounds. Now, in this situation, all they're trying to do is get some positive yardage to give their punter, Brian Moorman, some room.
3rd down and 10. Marshawn Lynch. Wilfork tripped him up, and maybe a half-yard gain at the most, and they got a punt. But let's go back to the defense, getting the Brady fumble on the goal line before.
And look at them, the crowd in the line of scrimmage. They know the Bills are not going to put their young quarterback in a risky situation and have him throw it there. They run the ball 3 times, and now they're forced to punt.
Brian Moorman, 3rd in net through 2 weeks in the NFL. The 2-time Pro Bowler has never had a punt return for a touchdown.
Wow, great punt.
Welker will be driven back. It was a beauty. Rockets it all the way to the 25. A block by Falk. And Welker is blasted out of bounds by Josh Stamer. It's a 75-yard punt. 75-yard punt with a 29-yard return. Timeout. 5-yard punt by Brian Moorman moments ago. The longest thus far in this very young NFL season. The 47-yard line. It is the 2nd time for the New England Patriots beginning in Buffalo territory in this half.
And you know, the great thing about Tom Brady is he's got tremendous patience and poise, and you rarely see him get flustered, and he's able to keep his emotions intact. And I think it's a great example to young quarterbacks. He never gets too high or too low in any situation.
Gaffney, Welker, Moss, the 3 receivers. Morris in the backfield, 1st and 10. 5 in the Buffalo secondary. 2 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen. Sammy Morris on a Texas Tech. Back by Kewaukie Thomas and knocked out of bounds by Dante Whitner. Has a 1st down, run up 12 on the play. Knocked out of bounds at the 35. So we know that Bill Belichick came here as the head coach earlier in this decade. Brady was selected late, but by New England, backing up Bledsoe. They open up Gillette Stadium in 2002, one of the great venues in the NFL. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, a great span. 1st and 10, 35. Kazir with the block. Brady to Gaffney. Knocked out of bounds by Yabodi. Another 1st down throw. This one good for 11 yards. Gaffney, of course, was the top receiver in the postseason a year ago for New England.
You watch him start to his right. Again, Tom Brady works the whole field as well as any quarterback in the league. They had a chance for a little double move up top. It wasn't there. He knew right where the outlet throw was in Jabbar Gaffney.
And 1st and 10. Morris. Triplett is the one who tripped him up, and he falls ahead nicely for a gain of 6 on the play to the 18-yard line. There's Triplett, the 4-year player for the Indianapolis Colts. Came to Buffalo last season, disappointing 06, and starts on the line now here in 07.
And we talked to Belichick yesterday. He said, I was tired of seeing Sammy Morris and Wes Welker work us over. And, you know, they played the the Dolphins twice a year, and he said these guys hurt us, and we had to find a way to add them in terms of free agency.
Moss is in the slot. Second down, long for Morris into the secondary and brought down by Whitner. And it's a gain of 8. Kawaki Thomas was there as well. Now they're moving well. They began this drive at the Buffalo 47-yard line. Down to the 11.
Again, Kevin, swelling up in the running game. This defense struggled a year ago. They've had a tough time of it so far this season. They're going to have to find a way to commit extra defenders into the box, and that's difficult when you have some great receivers out on the perimeter.
On the 11, first and 10, Morris. Brought down by Tim Anderson, a longtime starter with Ohio State, and starts sporadically on the defensive line for the Bills. It's a gain of 3 by Morris, who was really targeted early in free agency. The first day, New England made the call to Morris to get him up here from Miami.
And he does so much. He's a versatile back. He can help you in the passing game in terms of protections. And he's a
Kevin Falk is coming, second down and 7. That's a touchdown, and it goes to tight end Benjamin Watson. Patriots have retaken the lead.
And boy, that was the mismatch that they were looking for. They found a way to get Benjamin Watson one-on-one with the linebacker in space. And Angelo Crowell does a poor job. He has to get wider in his zone drops and feel that tight end on a little stick route. He should have been closer in coverage to Benjamin Watson.
Ostowski will try the extra point. Up until that red zone score, New England had fumbled and kicked a field goal. Now they get the 8-yard touchdown pass to Watson. Brady has thrown his 7th touchdown pass of the season. 5:08 to play. We're in the second quarter from Foxborough. Down pass to his tight end. That's Benjamin Watson. He, coupled with Daniel Graham, made about the best tight end receiving core in the NFL a season ago. But Graham has gone to Denver. Watson remains. He was the second leading receiver on this team a season ago and has just caught his 3rd touchdown pass, and Watson has a touchdown reception in each game so far. And now the ensuing kickoff. This is Scobie at the 1. McGee is out with the rib today. The rib injury will not play. Tackle is made by Mel Mitchell. 13-yard return. And McGee was the 5th leading kickoff man coming into this weekend.
And keep an eye on Angelo Crowell. What he's got to do is he has to buzz out in the flat and cover the tight end on a little basic route. There he is. He's got his eyes in the backfield. You can't have your eyes on the backfield. You have to know and have a feel for what that tight end is doing.
Well, the Patriots back on defense. They have forced the Bills to 3 and out in their last 2 series. Neufeld is the fullback in the backfield with Lynch. That's batted down. Maybe Adalis Thomas. Got in his face, incomplete pass. Second down and 10. Or perhaps it was Green. We'll have to see.
I think it was Adalis Thomas. Just watch him jump up right there. And I'll tell you what, that's what he gives you, Adalis Thomas. He's a great athlete, and he has that great physical ability, the great leaping ability. And of course, we saw him last week with that interception. He can run, too.
Starters out there defensively for the New England Patriots. Trent Edwards is the quarterback. The rookie Lossman was injured. Second down and 10. Neufeld. That brought down by Asante Samuel. Held out long in camp. That was a gain of 7. He's upended at the 20. Samuel getting the start today. The first time of this season. He had 10 interceptions a season ago, tying for number 1 in the NFL with Denver Bronco Champ Bailey.
And Kevin, the key for this Bills offense is going to be success on first down. Last year they ranked dead last in the National Football League in first down yardage. It's already been a problem this year. Last year, a large part to the offensive line that yielded 47 sacks, and they really lacked some muscle in the running game. That's why they went out and upgraded that offensive line.
Bruschi is out. Seau is in. 3rd and 3. Extra defensive back is Gay. Incomplete, looking for Price. And Randall Gay was covering on the play. He was the 5th defensive back as they went to the nickel. Another 3 and out. Flag has been thrown.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And the Buffalo Bills will punt for a 3rd consecutive possession. 3 consecutive 3-and-outs.
And I'm seeing Trent Edwards get a little careless with the football. He threw one a series before this to Ellis Hobbs on a little dig route. And then right there, you have to see throws. Randall Gay, Ellis Hobbs, Asante Samuel, they will route read and jump routes.
Here's Mormon at the Division II, Pittsburgh State in Kansas. Great hang time, and Welker on the 26. Neufeld brings him down. Also getting stopped in the play by George Wilson, a converted wide receiver. A 27-yard return after a 54-yard punt. And you take a look at some of the big names throwing the football this week 3 in the NFL.
You see a lot of attention was on Donovan McNabb this week, and he's responded with 214 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Paul Podlesny is out, broke a forearm, and who knows how long that will take to heal. J.P. Lossman is out. He got hit by Wilfork, who ran up on his left knee. 3rd consecutive start in Buffalo territory for Brady from the 48. Lawrence Maroney. Great block by Hookstein. And a tackle downfield by Yabodi. 19-yard slashing move by Maroney to the 29.
Just watch the job up front. You see the guard, Hookstein pull, and then a nice job by Lawrence Maroney following him up into the secondary.
Flag is down.
After the play, delay of game, throwing the ball, running back, number 39, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that is a new rule, a new interpretation of the rule. So it's a 5-yard penalty. Maroney and Corey Dillon were in the backfield a season ago. And
that was their 1-2 punch. And you know, Lawrence Maroney was used to that in college with Marion Barber. But again, he's a very emotional player and a guy that has to learn sometimes to control his emotions. You hurt your football team when you do those type of things.
Welker in the slot, nickel secondary. Maroney. Look at him dance. And he was brought down by Whitner and by Angelo Crowell, a 3-year starter in the linebacking core for Buffalo. It is a gain of 7 for Maroney, who has already picked up 58 yards on the ground today.
And he had a frustrating offseason. You know, he had that shoulder surgery, and he said, all I did during that time was really focus on my endurance and taking care of my lower body. He spent extra time in the weight room, extra time in terms of his conditioning so that he could carry more of the load this year for the Patriots.
2nd down and 3 on the 27. And here comes Kelsey, who's got a beat on Lawrence Maroney, number 1 pick a season ago. It's a gain of 5, and he's down to the 22-yard line. You know, you said as you're looking at the Buffalo defense, you can tell a lot by a defense by what they're allowing on the ground.
And Kevin, that's so important. As a quarterback, I always picked up the stats every week when I started scouting a defense, and I wanted to see how they held up and where they ranked in the running game, the run defense. Buffalo's defense right now, they're ranked 30th. To me, that was good news. I knew I could hand the ball off. It was going to help me in terms of the play action and also in terms of my protection scheme.
Shobo and Kelsey are out at the defensive ends. Jefferson on one side, Neal on the other. 1st and 10. The time for Brady. What a catch by the other Brady. Part of the Brady bunch. Down to the 2. Working on a linebacker. He was brought down by Jefferson. 20-yard pickup. 1st and goal to go for the New England Patriots.
And Kevin, we just talked about Kyle Brady. His ability as a blocker in the running game and also in the passing game, but he can also still run down the field vertically and catch the ball.
At the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Brady has thrown a touchdown pass. Marshawn Lynch for the Bills is running from 8 yards away. Junior Seau is coming along with Mike Vrabel. 1st and goal at the 2.
Kevin, this is their heavy personnel group. You got Benjamin Watson, Kyle Brady, you got Vrabel, Junior Seau, and in fact, Heath Evans.
1 defensive back. Evans gets the call, and he was brought down on the play by DeGiorgio. It is a loss of a yard back to the 3. So 1 defensive back and a lot of linebackers and linemen. And coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, JB, Dan, and the crew get you all set for scores and highlights. That's the Sprint Halftime Report from New York. Now more shuffling of the personnel from both sides in the 2nd and goal at the 3.
And Kevin, mass substitutions. You see 4 new players come on the field offensively for the Patriots. What do the Bills do? They bring 4 defenders back on. More defensive backs and linebackers.
Moss, Welker, and Stallworth out there. It is 2nd down and goal from the 3 to Moss. That is a touchdown. He beats Jabari Greer. Another touchdown reception for Randy Moss.
And you got to pick your poison. What happened was the Bills committed extra defenders in the box. What does that do? That gives you one-on-one on the outside lane. Jabari Greer versus Randy Moss. And that right there is a mismatch. He's got no chance. A bigger body, a faster player, and Tom Brady knew right where to go with the football.
He is 5th all-time in touchdown receptions in the history of the NFL. That was number 105. The extra point by Gostowski. Well, he took a $6 million pay cut to play with Tom Brady, but it's paying off. Moss with another touchdown reception, his 4th of the year. Here in Foxborough, where the Buffalo Bills have lost their starting quarterback, they have lost their starting middle linebacker. They came in decimated by injuries on both sides of the ball, playing the best team, the undefeated New England Patriots, and they led with a touchdown run on an Edwards-led drive. But now New England has come back with 2 consecutive Brady touchdown passes. 8 yards to Watson, and moments ago, 3 yards to Randy Moss. The ensuing kickoff. From the 1, Scobie. Oh, is he crushed? Mel Mitchell again has come down and drilled him after a 20-yard return. Mitchell was on the IR a season ago, joining New England as a free agent out of Western Kentucky. And there is a player down, that is Scobie. And Scobie came here as a special teams ace from the Seattle Seahawks. And at one time, he was, in fact, in the 03 season for Arizona, he was the #1 kickoff return man in the NFL. And he was taking the place of the injured Terrence McGee, who was out today with a rib injury.
Wow. It's a great tackle. Just a wonderful tackle by Mel Mitchell, but he hits him right in the knee.
5 in the secondary, and the nickel back is Gay. Randall Gay. 1st and 10, Lynch. Brought down by Junior Seau. It is a loss of 2 on that 1st and 10, back to the 18-yard line.
And Kevin, this is really where they're going to be limited. They have an extra defender in the box, unaccounted for. You see Junior Seau, he comes screaming right into the backfield. They have no one to block him. And that's what inexperience will do for you at the quarterback position. Whereas Tom Brady would have recognized that, would have changed the run, would have gotten to a pass play. In that situation, Trent Edwards is still learning how to play the position. You have to have everybody accounted for in the box.
2 tight ends, 2nd down 12, still the nickel for the New England Patriots. Lynch waiting for his blocking. And that hesitation gave all the time in the world for Junior Seau to come up and make another tackle. Comes up with his 2nd consecutive stop. That was a gain of 1 to the 19.
Kevin, I always say you can't play this game scared. You have 3 timeouts left. I know there wasn't a lot of time in the half, but let this quarterback, Trent Edwards, let him go out and play. I don't think it's good enough to go into the locker room at halftime down 17-7. Let this kid go out and compete.
Well, the New England Patriots, who were down early 7-3, have come back with 2 consecutive Brady touchdown passes. And you mentioned earlier in the broadcast about being refocused by Bill Belichick. They certainly have been. 17-7 New England. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Tomorrow, nothing can protect Horatio Kane from his own son.
Crowd the line of scrimmage, try and force him to win the game. Don't let Marshawn Lynch get going in the running game. So let Trent Edwards, give him some opportunities on the early downs. That'll probably help you.
As you saw, the ball blew off the tee, and so Lindell has to put it back on for the Buffalo Bills, who come in 0-2. Buffalo losing at home to Denver and then getting whipped last week in Pittsburgh. The Patriots have beaten the Jets in San Diego by identical 38-14 scores. which sets up today 7 consecutive wins by the Patriots over Buffalo, 12 of the last 13, and 6 in a row here in Foxborough. Our second half is underway. Hobbs returned one earlier this season for 108, longest in the history of the league, and here he goes again. Wendling has him, or did, yep. The rookie brings him down just outside the 30-yard line, a 33-yard return. Well, it has been a rugged day for the Buffalo Bills.
And Kevin, we talked about the secondary. They weren't healthy coming in, and now you have these type of injuries, especially to some of your key players, your quarterback, J.P. Lossman, and then your starting linebacker, Paul Posluszny. They can ill afford to lose any more players to injury.
Nickel secondary is what Brady will look into. His slot receiver is Welker, along with Stallworth and Moss, the 3 receivers. With Maroney in the backfield, 1st and 10. Maroney. And Chris Kelsey brings him down. Loss of a couple back at the 30-yard line.
And Kevin, we always talk about Tom Brady at the line of scrimmage, changing plays and getting in and out of bad situations and audible. And he does a great job of that. But one of the things he does a phenomenally good job of is in the running game. A lot of their runs at the line of scrimmage are what we call check with me's. He'll go up, he'll survey the front, and he'll run the most advantageous run based on the front and coverage that he sees, and he does a wonderful job of that.
No changes, 2nd down and 12. Brady, that was deflected by Schobel, deflected incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and long. And Brady also sets his protections very well too, doesn't he?
And Kevin, that's what he does as well as anybody. Maybe him and Peyton Manning are as good as there is at the protection game. Why is that so important? Well, we saw early in the game J.P. Lossman missing a corner blitz. And your job as a quarterback is to survey the protection, the defensive front, and make sure you put your team in a chance where they have a chance to make a play. Help the offensive line, help the perimeter people get in and out of the right play.
3rd and 12. Falk is in the game for Brady. And it goes off to Kevin Falk, who's brought down by Schobel. A quick 3 and out. Nice job done by the Buffalo defense. It's a gain of 4. It's up to the 34, and they got a punt. That's only the 2nd 3 and out series this season for the New England Patriots. As they get ready to boot it, Chris Hansen will let it fly. Jacksonville the last 6 years, and they'll be punting to Roscoe Parrish, one of the premier return men in the NFL. He was a punt returner ranking number 3 a season ago, and he's already had a 74-yarder against the Steelers last week. Poor punt. And that's going to give Buffalo some good beginning field position, and they're going to stick with the rookie Trent Edwards out of Stanford. Lossman probably will not return. Timeout taken and the clock at 13:36. Quick 3 and out for the New England Patriots to begin the second half. Best starting field position from the 37 for the Buffalo Bills, with rookie quarterback Trent Edwards taking the place of J.P. Lossman, injured in the first quarter. First series. Marshawn Lynch. No place to run, no place to hide. Jumping on him, Vince Wilfork, and it's a gain of 2 to the 39. Well, we want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all the drama below. Look for Snoopy 1, Snoopy 2, Snoopy 3, and I'm sure someday they'll have a baby Snoopy 4 when they pass through a town near you. 2nd down and 7. Starters out there defensively for New England. Lynch again. Back by Fowler, and a tackle made inside by Adalys Thomas on a gain of 4 up to the 44. You know, the Buffalo Bills carry 2 quarterbacks. A lot of teams carry 3. They only carry 2.
Right, Kevin. But, you know, more and more teams are carrying just 2 quarterbacks. You know, the Indianapolis Colts, in fact, there's 10 teams in the National Football League that are carrying just 2 quarterbacks. And we talked with Dick Duran last night. He says, hey, we have a young quarterback on the practice squad. We can still develop him. It allows us to bring up one more player that can be active for the game.
Roscoe Parrish is in. 3rd and 3. Nickel secondary outside for Lynch, and hit by Sanders and Roosevelt Colvin. On a gain of 2, and they're going to have to punt. Colvin had a big game last week against San Diego with 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception. He's off to a great start, and they just force a 3 and out for Trent Edwards and the Buffalo offense.
And Kevin, you never want to put your quarterback in a position where he can't be successful. And I think one of the things is he doesn't have a history in this offense. He hasn't had a ton of reps this week. And so you probably just want to make sure that he is comfortable with the plays that are coming in and out. And so they're going to be very conservative. But at some point, you're going to have to open things up a little bit and let this guy spread his wings.
Mormon, who's had a 75-yard punt today already in the game, will get this off to Kevin Falk, the all-time Patriot return man. Fair caught at the 10. 44-yard punt, 11:30 in the third. Tom Brady and the offense retake the field. He's got 2 touchdown passes. Glorious day here in Massachusetts, right outside Gillette Stadium. Construction has begun on Patriot Place, a 1.3 million square foot lifestyle center. It'll be the largest retail and entertainment destination in New England. Phase 1 will be open to shoppers in November, while the second phase of opening scheduled for fall of '08. First and 10 after the 3-and-out by Buffalo. Maroney, he is devoured. And coming in with a great stop on the play was Kyle Williams, an overachiever with about 11 starts a season ago. He's out of LSU, throwing him for a loss of 6, and they spot the ball at the 5. And there is Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft up there. There's his wife to the left. I would say if you took all 32 owners in the league, he may be the single most respected owner in the NFL, and Kevin, for many reasons.
We talk about leadership, having good leadership, and he has surrounded himself with good people. He's a visionary.
Second and 16, they go to Welker, who's brought down by Jimmy Leonard on a gain of 11. He runs it up to about the 16-yard line.
Tom Brady likes the shotgun formation. He feels like it gives him some extra time getting away from the line of scrimmage, and just watch how he just nonchalant, he just flicks the ball out. He's got people running around him. He never flinches. And I always say, you have to have great confidence and great poise to be able to play that position when things around you aren't always perfect.
5 in the secondary, 3rd down and 6. Falk is in the backfield in the shotgun with Tom Brady. Hit by Kelsey. And that is caught by Welker. And Wes Welker's out to the 27. Brought down in the secondary by Greer. It is a gain of 11 on 3rd and 6.
And you have to have a tough jaw to play this position. Watch how long he holds it. He knows he's going to take the hit, but he needs that extra split second to allow the receiver, Wes Welker, to work in space. Nice job by Tom Brady.
Gaffney has now come in for Stallworth. 1st and 10 from the 26. Maroney. And he corkscrews out to about the 31. He was tripped up on the play by Jefferson. It is a gain of 6. Also, Kiwaki Thomas was in there. We asked Belichick on Friday, what does it mean to have your best player as your best worker, your hardest worker?
And he said that sets the tone for everything we do as an organization. When Tom Brady is here every day for our offseason program, when he's in the weight room working, when he's out running and doing the little things, that sets an example not only for the veterans but for the young players we're trying to train.
Into the nickel secondary, 2nd down and 4. Look at the time for Brady. He's going deep. He's got Moss with a good move inside, and then brought down by Whitner. At the 24, a 44-yard catch and run for Randy Moss. He's got a touchdown catch already today.
Well, here's Randy Moss, but keep an eye on the safety and how Tom Brady moves the safety with his action. You have a receiver down the middle, and you have a receiver on the outside lane. That stretches the safety, but it all starts with Tom Brady. He pumps down the middle of the field, and that opens up Randy Moss on the outside lane.
We got Brian Scott playing the near side corner. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Lawrence Maroney chased by McCargo. Oh, look at him slash! What a move inside the 10. He's brought down about the 7-yard line. He was hit by Leonard. A gain of 15, 1st and goal, New England Patriots.
And now they're hitting on all cylinders offensively. They got it going in the passing game, and now you unload Lawrence Maroney on this secondary. That's what you want to see.
McCargo is out. Triplett has gone back in. 1st and goal at the 8. Gaffney remains in there as a receiver. Maroney at the side of Brady. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes already today. Maroney, good block by Mankins. And that opens the door on a gain near the goal line of 7. by Maroney, who moments ago had a 15-yard run.
And Kevin, you know, when you study both of these backs, I'm talking about Marshawn Lynch and Lawrence Maroney, there's a lot of similarities. Their body structure, their power, their elusiveness, their quickness. But what the difference in this game has been opportunities. Lawrence Maroney's getting more opportunities. They're doing a better job throwing the ball, and that's opening up some lanes for him in the running game.
Seau and Vrabel are in. Second down goal at the 1. 8th play of the drive. Evans gives him a block. Here comes the rush and a sack by Schobel. And that is the first sack by the Buffalo Bills today. No player in the NFL has sacked Tom Brady more than the Pro Bowl starter, Aaron Schobel of the Buffalo Bills.
And this is a coverage sack. They do a nice job. They don't fall for the play action. You look at the defenders, you look at the linebackers. Everybody is responsible for their man. They do a good job passing that one off.
Now 3 wides, including Gaffney, Welker, and Moss. 3rd and goal at the 4. 5 defensive backs for the Buffalo Bills. 2 linebackers. Brady, touchdown. Jabbar Gaffney. A 4-yard strike, and Tom Brady has just thrown his 3rd touchdown pass today.
Well, you just can't give Tom Brady this much time and let him get comfortable in the pocket, because he will find the open man. And they do a nice job with Jabbar Gaffney, just working inside and then working back out on Kawaki Thomas.
So on that 3rd and goal, they get the touchdown pass for Tom, who now has 9 touchdown passes this season, finding his 3rd different target in the end zone. Jabbar Gaffney, the lone holdover from the previous receiving corps. A 4-yard hit, and New England beginning to run away at 6:22. On that 89-yard touchdown drive orchestrated by Tom Brady, Randy Moss had a 45-yard catch and run. That sets him up. 4-yard touchdown pass to Gaffney, the ensuing kickoff. And here comes Scobie, who was injured before, bringing it out here. Takes it by the 25-yard line and was tackled on the play by Gostkowski and Sanders. A 28-yard return. 6:17 to play in the 3rd. Well, it's just under 80 degrees. That's a great shot of downtown Boston from our MetLife blimp with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. 3 and out the first time in the second half. Buffalo had it. 26-yard line, 1st and 10 here. Trent Edwards incomplete. He was going for Evans, and the coverage on the play by Sanders led the team in postseason tackles a year ago. 2nd down and 10.
Well, how do other players benefit from having Randy Moss? You're going to see he's going to get double covered, and then what happens is Jabbar Gaffney gets a chance to work one-on-one against Kawaki Thomas. And that's where you get the benefit. You know, in that part of the field, they're going to try and isolate and double Randy Moss. That lets Jabbar Gaffney work one-on-one.
5 in the secondary, 2nd down and 10. Lynch, good block by Royal, but it quickly evaporates and down he goes. He was hit by Sanders and the linebacker Seau taking the place of Bruschi. Gain of 4 to the 30-yard line.
And Kevin, what I'm seeing on early downs from the Buffalo Bills is 2 tight end sets. And we're seeing a lot of Robert Royal in there with Michael Gaines. What I'd like to see more of is some 3 wide receiver sets and even 4 wide receiver sets. Even in those personnel groupings, you can still run the ball.
Roscoe Parrish is the 3rd receiver. Anthony Thomas in the backfield. Nickel secondary for New England. 3rd down and 6. Good block by Peters. Oh, they come up the middle. Ty Warren and Jarvis Green. They notch the 2nd sack today, authored by the New England defense. Another 3 and out for the Buffalo Bills. A loss of 9. And he's back to the 20.
And right now, he is confused to get him different looks at the line of scrimmage. Watch his eyes. He's looking all over the place. He can't find anybody open, and he's not completely sure what's happened, not only in terms of the protections, but in the coverages as well.
Brian Moorman, who's a great hurdler in college, gets off a horrible punt. Welker and Falk watching a kick out of bounds inside the 45. That's just what New England needs. Good beginning field position. 5:03 in the 3rd. Lossman took a shot to the knee in the first series. The rookie out of Stanford, Edwards, had to come in and take his place, and he led a pretty good-looking drive, his first drive, but has staggered since. Another 3 and out. Second consecutive 3 and out for the Bills to begin the second half. So now Brady in the offense, 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Falk at his side. And Welker in the slot as a third receiver. Make it Morris at his side. That's a throw to Moss. And the grab made by Whitner at the 48 on a gain of 7. He thought it was kind of interesting when Bill Belichick said that he spends a couple hours every week, usually Tuesday, in the quarterbacks meeting.
And Kevin, I think that's highly unusual for most head coaches to take that time, but he feels like it's important. I think what he does, he really breaks down the game plan for Tom Brady and the quarterbacks. He does a great job explaining to them what they can anticipate from defenses, and that's an invaluable time for Tom Brady.
It's 2nd and 3, and this is Sandy Morris, a good block up front by Mankins. As Morris works into the defensive Gregorio and a gain of 10. First down. He's at the 41-yard line of the Bills.
You know, you're talking about Bill Belichick. He's a tremendous teacher. I watched him at practice yesterday, pulling aside Adalius Thomas and Roosevelt Colvin, explaining to them, talking to them about details that are particular to their position and techniques. And very savvy guy, and he's a great motivator.
Nickel secondary and a 1st and 10 for Brady. That's caught by Wes Welker. Got away from Leonard. Works his way on his feet still as the ball was dragged free, and Moss got it. And the gain is 37 yards to the 4-yard line. Was it a fumble or a lateral?
Just watch the play action fake. It freezes the linebacker, and that allows Wes Welker to work right back up in between the 2 deep safeties. And now
it was a lateral by him. Oh my gosh.
Just an alert play by Wes Welker. He's an exciting football player, Kevin.
And a smart one, obviously, as well.
And he's hard to tackle in space.
Sammy Morris rushing in on a 1st and goal from the 4.
And Kevin, what's happening is this Buffalo defense is wearing down, and they should. They've been on the field way too long. Last week, another perfect example of that. Time of possession has been a critical factor in their losses this year. Their defense on the field way too much.
Gostowski will try the extra point. Wes Welker was a trade acquisition from Miami. They did the New England Patriots a 2nd and a 7th round draft choice. As you see the Morris touchdown run again. There's some blocking up ahead by Brady and others. But there are a lot of people that thought coming into this season, Rich, that Welker would lead New England in receiving at the end of the day. Now, Moss has garnered a lot of headlines, but Welker certainly gives you that X factor that you don't see on a lot of teams.
Well, there's no question. That was a great addition for them to free agency. He's an elusive player. He's a very tough-minded player, a lot like Zach Thomas, those Texas Tech guys. The other thing is, he's the one guy in particular that has really benefited from having Randy Moss as well as Dante Stallworth on the outside lanes. That's allowed him to really work the middle of the field, and that's really where they get their mismatches. Wes Welker on a linebacker or a safety, he's usually going to win that one.
And take a look at Moss. He has already caught a touchdown pass today for the New England Patriots, and Ben is, they were telling us on Friday at practice, a model citizen. After he took the huge pay cut, a 4th round draft choice was sent to Oakland, and he came here, and he's only riding his Randy Moss a 1-year contract.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about this being a perfect place for Randy Moss, maybe the only place.
Gostowski with Scobie at the goal line. And he was brought down on the play by Eric Alexander, who's out of LSU on a 22-yard run Saturday. The Home Depot SEC on CBS has Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide taking on Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles. They'll play in Jacksonville. It all begins with Spencer and Tim on the TIAA Prep College Football Today.
And Kevin, you and I talked about this being the perfect place for Randy Moss, and the reason I say that is this is an organization that has structure, that has discipline, that has a veteran locker room, and it's got a quarterback that's won Super Bowls. They're not going to tolerate any nonsense from him. He's going to have to fall in line and do what the other players are doing.
2 tight ends on 1st and 10 for Edwards, and the pass is low. And was it scooped in? They say it was by Evans. It's a gain of 7. Hit by Brewski. Let's go to New York and JB.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, back and forth affair between the Chargers and Packers. Rivers play action, fake reverse, goes to who else? The franchise. LaDainian Tomlinson, 21 yards for the score. 21-17. San Diego late in the 3rd. Back to Kevin Harlan. Rich Gannon.
What a terrific game, of course, last week on this field on Sunday night. San Diego losing to New England 38-14. Thank you, JB. 2nd and 3. Edwards on the money. It's caught 36-yard line with the tackle made by Colvin, the grab by Peerless Price, and a Buffalo first down.
And Kevin, one of the things when I look at this offense and I break them down, I think one of their biggest problems is they don't really get the tight end involved. You know, you look at Robert Rowe, he had 2 catches last week for 17 yards. There's virtually no production from that position. What happens is there's no real threat down in the middle of the field. They don't stretch the defense, and it makes it difficult for the receivers in the outside lanes to get open.
5 in the secondary, 1st and 10 from the 37. Edwards hit by Warren, and that is off to Josh Reed, who races by Samuel, picks up 5, out of bounds at the 42. Back to JB.
Hey, Kevin and Rich, take a look at Joseph Adai's 2nd touchdown of the game, an 8-yard run that came off of a Matt Shaw pick. 4 plays, 21 yards, and they've added a field goal. It's now 27-10. Indianapolis over Houston. Back to Kevin and Rich.
Well, if the Colts win, JB, they would go to 3-0 for the 4th time in the last 5 years. They're cooking again. Thank you. 2nd down and 4. Marshawn Lynch. And he was hammered on the play by Lakeven Smith, who's a 2nd-year player out of Nebraska. There was a gain of 2, and he's up to the 45-yard line. There is Lakeven.
And in these type of games, Kevin, when you have a 31-7 lead, you can roll more players on the field. You can get some of your backups in the game, get them some opportunities, and get them some reps. That's invaluable.
Still 5 in the secondary, 3rd down and 2 from the 45. Couple tight ends. Lynch, Peters with the lead block. Oh, they stuff him. He didn't get it. Seau was there and Mike Vrabel was there. They take such great pride in their defense. Veterans, both of them, multiple Pro Bowlers, and no gain, and so they got to punt again. Do the Buffalo Bills as they had to get to the 47. They got as far as the 45.
Look at all the defenders up at the line of scrimmage, and the Patriots were not fooled at all by that particular front. And that's what's going to happen. In those situations, that's the perfect opportunity for a play action or roll your quarterback out.
Ryan Moorman will let it fly. Kevin Falk will wave it off. Oh, it takes a great Buffalo bounce and will be down. Windling volleyballs it into Leonard at the 2. Nice move by Moorman, one of the great punters in the NFL. And Windling, this young kid who is just a rookie, out of Wyoming in a 6th-round pick with a terrific play. Leonard, undrafted out of Wisconsin, catches it, and a 54-yard punt, the result. And now the Patriots marooned at their 2. Patriots have started 2 drives this year inside their own 10 and scored touchdowns both times. How long do you think Brady's going to stay in the game?
Well, Kevin, it's still in the 3rd quarter, and I think that versus a divisional opponent like Buffalo, this part of the field, you have to let Tom Brady finish this game, at least certainly this quarter.
1st down and 10, 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers, 4 in the line for the Buffalo Bills. They lost Leslie early in the game with a broken forearm. Look at the run by Heath Evans. Drafted by Seattle, played with Miami, signed here. And he rumbles upfield for 9. He's by the 10. And stopped in the secondary. With just seconds remaining in the 3rd, and that should conclude our 3rd quarter, which was a good one for New England. A 4-yard touchdown pass, Brady to Gaffney. A 4-yard touchdown run by Sammy Morris. New England hovering over a 3-0 start. 31-7 at the end of 3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. That is a pretty New England shot. You start the fourth quarter. Brady has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Sammy Morris has run one in from 4 yards away with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan starting the fourth, 2nd down and 1. Brady is at his 10. Couple tight ends. Maroney. He got a block from Evans, and he was brought down on the play ball. That the Buffalo Bills say there was a fumble. Mario Hagan had just come in as a linebacker, and he was part of the guys that made the tackle. Let's see what they decide to do here.
Saying he was down.
Yep. Gain of 2, and he's at about the 13-yard line. And they get the first down. I know that quarterbacks take great pride in so many things. Take CBS Sports. Well, you know what? Let's get this play off, and then we'll do this. Here we go. They're going to go to the no huddle with a 31-7 lead. And Kelsey jumps off. Did he see movement? Was he induced? Scott Green, who worked Super Bowls 36 and 38, is a back judge, is our referee today, and one of the bright young officials in the NFL.
Encroachment, defense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Take CBS Sports with you wherever you go. It's free. Get live scores, breaking news, even manage your fantasy team. Text SCORE to 99888. For more information, click on mobile at cbssports.com. 1st and 5. Brady takes great pride in his durability, doesn't he?
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you what, you talk about the most important thing that Tom Brady brings to this club is the ability to line up under center each and every week, and that's something that's very, very important to him.
Couple tight ends on 1st and 5. Brady, with a crumbling pocket, was looking for the other Brady, Kyle, who was signed as a free agent from Jacksonville back in March. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, you look at this group of individuals right here in the consecutive starts. This is something they all pride themselves in. And I did a study on all 3 of these quarterbacks, Favre, Manning, and Brady. And the thing that really jumped out to me is that aside from being tough individuals, they pride themselves on understanding everything that goes on around them. And that's why they rarely get hit unexpectedly. They get, ever see a weak corner blitz come, knock Tom Brady down like we saw earlier with J.P. Lossman.
Kelsey and Schobel were playing defensive tackles on 2nd and 5. That is incomplete. Moss was on the side, and he was working on Ashton Yabodi. It'll be 3rd down.
And Kevin, as we were saying, he spends so much time studying the opponent in preparation that all 3 of those quarterbacks are rarely surprised by what they see on Sunday, and that's one of the reasons why they don't get knocked down as much. And that's one of the reasons why they have this consecutive start streak, and it's important to all 3 of them. They're all competitive guys, and they can talk all they want about how they don't care about records. That particular record is important to all 3 of those quarterbacks.
Yabodi is out. Brian Scott is in 3rd down and 5 with Kevin Falk in the backfield for Brady. Welker's in the slot. So into that nickel secondary, he throws to Welker, who's brought down by Chris Kelsey on the line. He rolls his way out to the 27. He picks up 9 on 3rd and 5, and that is a 1st down.
And I really like Wes Welker. I mean, he reminds me, he's a nifty, crafty receiver that understands coverages, where he fits into the whole scheme. And once he catches the ball, he's great after the catch. I mean, he's a hard guy to tackle. He's a great competitor. He's going to do some great things this year for the Patriots.
Welker was undrafted and then picked up by San Diego, let go. That's when Miami got him. 1st and 10. Here comes Lawrence Maroney. From behind, DeGiorgio brings him down. DeGiorgio was the Division II linebacker of the year at Saginaw Valley State. It's a gain of 9. He's out to the 37-yard line.
Just look at the job of this offensive line. They got their double teams. They're scraping. They're coming off on the 2nd level, getting hats on the linebackers. That group has gotten better each and every year.
Maroney 94 yards on the ground, and he lines up now with the 2nd down and a yard at the 37. To Welker. Stallworth trying to give a block, and he's going to reverse field, not find much there. He was brought down by Kiwaki Thomas on a loss of a yard back to the 36-yard line. The one thing I think the Patriots pride themselves on offensively and defensively too, but since the offense is out there, we'll stick with them, is the different looks they provide week to week. It's hard to pick up a pattern about what they do.
They do a great job game planning, not only offensively and defensively. And you look at Josh McDaniels, they put together packages, things that are new each and every week, and some things that look the same but yet are different. Makes it very difficult for a defense.
Falk in the backfield, 3rd down and 2. Still the nickel secondary for Buffalo. They played with that most of the day after the Posledny injury. Falk, and he'll dance. He's hit by Brian Scott. He picks up 11 on 3rd and 2. Another first down for the New England Patriots, moving with great precision now and a sizable lead on a afternoon for Tom Brady, where he has thrown 3 touchdown passes.
And look at this, his willingness to check the ball down. And that's the thing about Tom Brady that I like the most. He's a great decision maker. And rarely do you see him throw the ugly interception. I'm talking about late down the middle or into double coverage. Very savvy player. And one of the things, again, his willingness to check it down and move on.
1st and 10. Screen pass, Falk. Mankins with the block. And the tackle made by Whitner. It is a gain of about 9.5, 10 yards on the play. He is near the 44-yard line, 43-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
And Kevin, what makes a good screen football team? It's an offensive line that can get out and run. And just watch these guys as they come at you. Look at them throw. Look at them both throw and push the defenders back. And what that does, it allows Falk to make a cut in space. These guys all run well, and they're all willing to get out there and throw their bodies around.
2nd and inches. Moss is in now as a receiver. Falk in the backfield. Oh, the hitch. Brady for Moss. Guarded by Greer. Another touchdown. This has been a shooting gallery for New England today. And Tom Brady has just thrown his 4th touchdown pass.
And this is frustrating if you're Jabari Greer, because he had great coverage on Randy Moss. But the difference, 5'11" versus 6'4". And Tom Brady puts it in a perfect position. See how he uses the sidelines? And Randy Moss does a great job boxing out Jabari Greer.
Boy, do they love Randy Moss. A lot of teams shied away from him as Tom Brady's 4 touchdown passes tie a career high. Gostowski puts it through. And you said earlier in the game, you thought there were very few teams in the NFL that can handle a personality like Moss.
Yeah, but the thing about it is he always had the ability to make the big catch down the field. That's what Randy Moss brings you.
Randy Moss has just caught his 2nd touchdown pass today. Scobie is driven deep on the touchback kick by Gostowski. Randy Moss has 5 touchdown receptions on the year. 10:22 to play in the 4th. Patriots running away. The New England Patriots have scored 38 points for the 3rd consecutive week. They just kicked off after Moss lassoed a 46-yard strike from Tom Brady. 20-yard line on the touchback. 1st and 10. Trent Edwards is the quarterback, and a rookie for the injured J.P. Lossman. And looked like Roscoe Parrish working on Hobbs. Got the ball. He's to the 33 and picks up 14, 1st down.
Kevin, we go back and look at it. They start in 2 deep. The safety's going to roll down, and now you're going to get 3 deep coverage. Look how soft Jabari Greer is. Randy Moss is just going to run right by him on a go route. And what happens is, this is just the perfect throw and catch. Jabari Greer is going to go home tonight thinking about what he could have done differently. Honestly, nothing. Perfect throw and catch.
1st and 10. The block by Walker. Edwards going deep and looking for Evans, guarded by Hobbs. Incomplete. What a play by the cornerback, who has been a starter here for a couple of years now, Ellis Hobbs out of Iowa State. He's the best New England corner probably after Asante Samuel.
And what happened was this ball just hung up there too long, and Trent Edwards never was really able to set his feet and get everything on that. The thing you know when you're throwing the ball like this downfield to a speedy receiver like Lee Evans, You can't underthrow it. You got to throw it out there and let him run under it.
Can you believe Evans, who grabbed 82 receptions a season ago, only has 1 catch today, 5 on the season, 2nd and 10. Marshawn Lynch, this is a bright spot for this team, brought down by Hobbs and others as they combine to make the stop after an 11-yard gain. Another first down run, and this is up to the 46-yard line.
And Kevin, think back to our conversation last night with J.P. Lawson when we sat down with him at the hotel. He said, look, we're really close. It's the minor details that are holding us back. And I have to tell you, he and I have a different assessment of this offense. I mean, I'm a realistic guy. I look at the film, and it indicates to me there's a lot of work left for this offense before they start hitting on all cylinders.
1st and 10. Boy, the blitz was on. The throw was over the head of Evans on the side, and coming right up the chute was Junior Seau, who crushed Edwards. It'll be 2nd down. Coming up the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and the coach for all the scores and highlights. We're putting it together for you right now at our CBS studios in New York. The Subway postgame show here on CBS, America's most watched network. 2nd down, 10. Neufeld is the fullback. And the block for Lynch. A good one, too, by Fowler, the center. Tackles made by Brandon Merriweather. 1st-round pick out of Miami. Gain of 4 up to the 50-yard line. Well, the Buffalo Bills, they had Wade Phillips at the beginning of this decade, who is now the coach of Dallas. Here you see Greg Williams, who took over for 3 years, followed by Mike Mularkey, who came from Pittsburgh as their coordinator for 2. And now they're on to Dick Duran, who's 7-11.
Kevin, when you have that much turnover, and you have turnover at the offensive coordinator position, you have new players, new quarterbacks, you lack the consistency.
3rd and 6. Here comes Wolford. And that is almost intercepted, incomplete. They were going for Robert Royal. And they were swarming, this New England defense was. And it was the defense of Rashad Baker, who is a former Buffalo Bill, who was there to break it up. They got to punt the ball.
Can we talk about stability at the head coaching position, stability at the quarterback position? That's really been the difference of these two organizations. You think about Belichick and Brady. They've been a constant here in New England. And, of course, the Buffalo Bills have had a lot of changes at both of those positions.
Ryan Moorman to punt. Kevin Falk waving it off. And out of bounds. It ricochets at about the 26-yard line and a punt of 24 yards. 8:15 to play in the game. Patriots 38-7. Tom Brady is out. They have brought in 3rd-year quarterback Matt Castle out of USC. The guy who was backed up a couple of Heisman winners for the Trojans and Palmer and Leinart. Now he packs up Tom Brady. I don't know if that's bad timing or bad luck. 1st and 10, 27. Maroney hit by Anderson and then bounces into the grasp of Schobel. It is a gain of 2 to the 30-yard line as Tom Brady now is done for the day. And taken off the tape, tying a career high with 4 touchdown passes and a tremendous 23 of 29 through the air. He was outstanding.
Well, Kevin, I'm here to tell you that the fans here in New England, much like Indianapolis and Green Bay, have been spoiled with Tom Brady and his production over the last 6 years. And these kind of consistent performances week in and week out, year in and year out, are not the norm in the NFL.
It's 2nd down and 8. Here comes Maroney. Hochstein with the block, and he's gang tackled by all kinds of Bills. Chris Kelsey was on the pile. Also Larry Triplett, gain of 3. And the ball's to the 33.
We don't talk much about this, but you watch him on film. He's very sound. He's got great footwork, good mechanics, and I think one of the reasons why he's such an accurate passer. You look at his numbers today. We talked about 23 of 29. Coming into today's game, he's almost at 80% completion percentage.
3rd down and 5. Evans is in as the fullback and offers a block for Maroney. He's drilled Crowell among the many Bills. Gain of 4, shy of a 1st down by a yard. They had a picture in the paper, I don't know if it was the Herald or the Globe this past week, of Brady throwing a medicine ball in practice. You don't see that a lot from quarterbacks.
And again, it's a question of not only arm strength but core strength, because so much from a quarterback, it's their abdominals, it's their obliques, their legs. And Tom Brady does a great job making sure that he's taking care of his midsection, because that's where a lot of your velocity comes on your throws.
Chris Hansen, who takes over for Josh Miller. They also had Sauerbrunn and Ken Walter here last year. A lot of punters for the New England Patriots. This guy comes from Jacksonville. Leonard watches the ball skirt out of bounds near the 30-yard line. So Tom Brady answering the bell with a terrific afternoon and 4 touchdown passes and 6:09 to play. The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 providing today's scenics of the game below. The Blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year, covering sporting events and television specials throughout the U.S. Here with us today in beautiful Foxborough with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. There's another try for the Buffalo Bills. Tom Brady has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Randy Moss has caught 2 of them, 1 of 46 yards. Trent Edwards on 1st and 10. That's intercepted by Asante Samuel. Getting the start today. He led the NFL in interceptions last year with blocking downfield from Hobbs. He takes it all the way to the 12-yard line. A 43-yard return. And the first interception this season, the 17th of his career for Asante Samuel.
Nothing fancy, just a little post route up top. Good protection. High with the throw. You throw it high and behind him. That's the only place you can't miss on that throw. High and behind him, and Asante Samuel right there to make the play.
He'll be at the 12 with the 1st and 10.
That's usually, Kevin, on that throw, if you're going to miss, that's usually where you miss it. When the receiver makes that break at the top of the route, they start running away from you pretty quickly. And if you're going to miss, you got to miss out in front.
2 tight ends, Morris in the backfield, 1st and 10. Sammy Morris. Schobel gets him, brings him down with a gain of a yard on the play. You know, when you look at what New England has compiled in the offseason, put them with the existing players. As you take a look at these fantasy players, it's almost like a fantasy team here in New England. I don't know if there's another team in the NFL with this kind of star power.
Kevin, you and I talked about in the open about how good a job they've done in free agency. And I'm not talking necessarily about a Dallas Thomas or Randy Moss, but how about Wes Welker? How about Dante Stallworth, Sammy Morris, Kyle Brady? They've really upgraded their talent across the board.
2nd down 9. Morris with a David Thomas block and tackled on the play by John McCargo, who was the #1 pick a year ago out of North Carolina State and then broke a bone in his foot. That's a gain of 2 down to the 9.
And you just have 2 teams that are going in 2 different directions. We talked about the Patriots, how they're loaded, and unfortunately for the Buffalo Bills right now, they've had a number of key injuries at key positions. And the other thing is, this poor defense has spent too much time this season on the football field. They're going to have to find a way. They're tired right now. They're going to have to find a way to keep the offense on the field and generate more plays.
3rd down and 7. Morris with no place to go. DeGiorgio makes the stop. No gain. So it's 4th down, and Patriots will just keep their team out there and go for it on 4th down. And about 7.5, 8 yards to go. They bring in a couple tight ends, and they also bring in Vrabel and Junior Seau.
And Kevin, just look at the time of possession. 21 minutes and 51 seconds for the Buffalo Bills. 34 minutes for the New England Patriots. That's been the difference in the game. That and field position.
2 tight ends. Let's make Vrabel the 3rd tight end. Seau in the backfield. This is Heath Evans, who dives inside and then gang tackled by Kyle Williams and company on downs. After the gain of 2 to about the 6, they turn it over to the Buffalo Bills. Well, where do you go if you're Buffalo? I mean, you've just been decimated by injury. Today you've lost your starting quarterback, and we don't know the severity of the left knee of J.P. Lossman. Posluszny probably is lost for the season with a broken forearm. McGee didn't play today because of the rib, and you pile all those things on to previous injuries and then go beyond that to previous defections with guys like Clemens and Fletcher and Spikes all either leaving via free agency or being traded.
Well, the one thing I do know about Dick Duran, he's a fearless leader, and he will somehow, some way find a way to rally the troops. You remember last year they got off to a sluggish start. but the way they finished last season was impressive. And he believes in this young football team. I mean, Kevin, this is one of the youngest rosters in the NFL, and they're learning how to play. They're learning how to compete.
That was a 1st and 10 handoff to Dwayne Wright, who's a rookie out of Fresno State. Here is what is coming up for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, they have to get healthy, and you look at the Jets. I mean, that's hopefully a game that they can find a way to rally the troops and put forth a better effort than they did today. But they just need to get that first win. They need to get some confidence back, not only offensively, but defensively as well.
Couple tight ends, 2nd down and 6. And again, the rookie Wright in the backfield, and he was brought down on the play by Eric Alexander, a reserve linebacker, after a gain of 5. And he's out to the 15-yard line. Wright is the number 3 all-time leading rusher for Fresno State, former San Diego High School Football Player of the Year, now taking the place of Marshawn Lynch, who today on the ground picked up 74 yards on 20 carries. 3rd down and 1. Nickel secondary. Right again, diving for the 1st down. And he was hit by Alexander. And a gain of 4 up to the 19-yard line.
Well, you look at the longest playoff droughts in the National Football League, and the Buffalo Bills are right there. And Kevin, the reason why is the turnover. When you have that much turnover at your head coaching position, and you have ineffective play at the quarterback position, that is a problem. And I think that they feel like J.P. Lossman is their quarterback. He made some great strides a year ago, and certainly Dick Duran, a guy that has had success everywhere he's been.
We've reached the 2-minute warning on an afternoon where Tom Brady has thrown 4 New England touchdown passes. That's what the Patriots have coming up. A couple of Ohio teams, Cincinnati and Cleveland, then at Dallas. That'll be an interesting game. 1st and 10 from the 19. And this is Wright, who is brought down by Baker in the secondary after a good-looking run to the 31-yard line. Dwayne Wright out of Fresno State, a rookie, picking up 12 with 31. And here's the schedule once again.
With Cincinnati and Cleveland, both of those ball clubs, can't quite put my finger on what's going to happen in either of those places. You look at the problems they had in Cleveland at the quarterback position, and Derek Anderson comes in last week and throws 5 touchdowns, and then Cincinnati giving up 50 points and 500 yards of total offense. They have some problems defensively that they need to get figured out.
Couple tight ends, 1st and 10. Wright, who missed a couple years in college with a blown knee, is brought down on the play by Lakeven Smith after a gain of 3. And that'll take him out to the 35-yard line. Well, certainly you see the schedule coming up for the New England Patriots, and a team now with, all this surrounding them, whether you talk Videogate or Moss or whatever, and Brady and Belichick, and you mix that recipe and that equation, certainly the target is on their back.
Yeah, you know what, though, Kevin? They're a very smart football team. They all say the right things. They do the right things. They rarely ever say something controversial about a teammate or an opponent.
2nd and 7.
It really comes from their head coach, Bill Belichick. He does a great job. We talked about it as a teacher, educating his players on how to conduct themselves as professionals. And I'll tell you what, he's got a smart football team. They do the right thing at the right time in the right place, and that's why they win.
Well, as you always say, some teams feel pressure, other teams exert pressure.
Yeah, some teams feel pressure, other teams apply pressure, and that's what the Patriots do on both sides of the football. Offensively, they attack you, and defensively, they get after you and make things difficult for quarterbacks.